The 6th season of The Walking Dead ended with Negan choosing one of Rick's group to die before proceeding to lay into his victim with a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat, but rather than show all the gory details, the act was shown from the victim's point of view, leading to one of the largest cliffhangers in television history. So the question on everybody's lips, who did Negan choose? So let's look at this in some detail. First, we'll have all 8 possible victims. We'll have Rick, Carl, Glenn, Maggie, Abraham, Sasha, Rosita, Eugene, Michonne, Daryl and Aaron. Using the layout we've seen on TV, let's place them all in their respective places and we'll add in Negan to complete the shot. Now let's see who we can rule out and look at any possible clues as to who Negan's target really is. First up, the audio in the episode features this quote from Negan as he's about to lay waste to our victim.
Anybody moves, anybody says anything, cut the boy's other eye out and feed it to his father, and then we'll start.
Based on that dialogue, that indicates that neither Carl or Rick were chosen, as they'd have to be alive to cut out and eat said eyeball. So that leaves us with 9 possible victims. So who else can we rule out? Well, outside of what we've seen on TV, Walking Dead creator Robert Kirkman has confirmed we'll learn more about Maggie's complications during pregnancy next season. So with that being said, it's a safe bet to take her out of the run, otherwise we won't be able to learn too much from a dead corpse. So that leaves us with 5 candidates, and this is where it starts to get tricky, because there's not a lot in the episode to go off, but looking at the list of names and starting with series favourite Daryl, a lot of people speculate he would be the guy chosen, as he's set to begin filming a new AMC show, Ride with Norman Reedus. However, looking at the film schedule, it does not clash with The Walking Dead, so we can rule that out as a reason for Daryl's demise. Also, being such a big character, it feels as though if they were to kill Daryl, then it would be seen from another angle to give him a proper send-off and then allow fans the summer to grieve. As for his fate in the comic book world, Daryl's character is exclusive to the show, therefore he could die anyway at all as nothing is set in stone, meaning his death is still a possibility, but it's unlikely. Speaking of the comic book world and things being set in stone, and one person whose fate does seem fall in this very scenario at the hands of Negan in the comics is another of the series favourites in Glenn, the guy that's been so close to death on so many occasions, so could this finally be Glenn's time? I think it could be. I think Glenn is by far the favourite to die here based off the fact that he died in this way in the comics, and we've always been led to believe that whatever happens to Glenn, he'll always make it through, which kind of gives us false hope, only potentially to have the rug pulled out from under us. It also explains why the director chose this viewing angle for the scene, because if they'd shown everything, then it could have been a bit of a letdown for fans of the comic, as they'll have known exactly what was to come, but this way instead it keeps everyone guessing regardless of whether they've read the comics or not. Also backing up this possible outcome, we had some audio leaked prior to the episode airing that featured the final scene, and if you slow it down and listen to it, then you can hear what appears to be Glenn crying out for Maggie as he did in the comics. That's then followed up by Maggie screaming for Glenn, along with more of the cast in the background, making Glenn the favourite to be written off. As for the rest of the gang, we'll have Abraham, Sasha, Rosita, Eugene, Michonne and Aaron, with Michonne being the biggest of those names. However, there's very little evidence to back up whether they were or were not chosen. As for Michonne, while she's alive in the comic book world, she did actually die in a non-canon bonus ending that involved robotic hands and aliens, but I think it's safe to rule that out in the TV show. Aaron, on the other hand, he doesn't have too much going for him. His family have been entirely killed off, and he doesn't really have much in terms of a relationship with the rest of the group, but maybe that's a good thing, as it means his death would be less impactful and a bit of a letdown, meaning the writers were more likely to go with someone else, someone who does have a meaningful relationship with the group in somebody like Glenn. In regards to Abraham, Sasha and Rosita, then I would expect something to play out further down the line and maybe get some payoff to their love triangle, maybe even pairing up Rosita with Eugene, although according to some fans that analysed the amount of steps taken by Negan between UR and IT, then a lot of people conclude he walked from one end of the group to the other, which would place him next to Eugene. Anyway guys, that is all for now, but I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you did, a like is greatly appreciated. Make sure to subscribe as well, as I'll be posting more videos like this in the future. And of course, let me know your thoughts on the series finale in the comments and who you think was chosen. But until next time, I'll catch you later.